Alrighty guys, welcome. Let's turn this music down a bit before I forget. Alrighty guys, as always, hope you're all doing well. Welcome to another London Live. Good morning, good afternoon, as always, very good evening, no matter where you are around this world. Hope you guys are all doing well. I hope you all had a wonderful weekend. Sorry about the slightly later start than usual today. I've had a crazy day, guys. I've had a hectic day. And it's also been an absolute scorcher here in Melbourne. So 42, I think it reached today. So degrees Celsius. So that's a bloody hot day. Thank God. It looks like it's starting to cool down a bit out there. So hope you guys are doing well. As per usual, we will have a look at the charts. Obviously, been a big week, or big month to begin the year on gold. So we'll take a look at that. We'll also take a look at GJ. Guys, you know the drill. If you could, please make sure to hit that like button if you're not done so. TikTok, if you could, smash that screen for me. Welcome to all you on TikTok and welcome to everyone on YouTube. Let's quickly take a look at the news. Let's see if there is anything that would potentially impact our session here today. So we do have some orange folder news. So it's obviously the ECB President Christine Lagarde is speaking. So we do need to pay a bit of attention to that. Potentially could have an impact on the pound as well. Not only the euro news tends to move the pound a bit as well, and vice versa. And obviously there could be breaking news any point when you've got Mr. Trump in office. It is a bank holiday here today in Oz. It is Australia Day. I am on stream, so if you guys could just show some love and we'll get cracking with the analysis moving forwards. Quickly, is there any news into MY today? Sorry guys, just quickly check that. No, so it's pretty smooth sailing. All right, so let's have a look, guys. Let's start with gold, and as per the usual, let's start on that weekly time frame. And we can see the previous weekly candle to me was a very strong catalyst candle. What that has done is closed very strong bullish, almost retesting the all-time high. We have closed well above the resistance here to the left, the bodies of the candles to the left, not quite above the actual resistance though. But based off that to me is a strong catalyst. That's done what no other candle has done prior to it at this level. So it's closed above the bodies to the left. What I mentioned yesterday on the market update with my members was the level I could see it potentially pulling back to grab some liquidity before it may form support and head back up was this candle here. So on this particular broker, which I did the chart for the members, it's actually about to tap into it. So we're not far off it. So it's pretty much at that level where I had marked in for the members as a potential point where price could tap into and potentially form support, and that could be the lower wick of the weekly. Not necessarily doesn't mean it has to be. It could continue to drop, but we are pretty much at that level just now. So it'll be interesting to see if we do form support above it. So strong bullish on the weekly. Onto the daily time frame. Now that's a little bit conflicting here, because what we do have is we're technically bullish in structure, but we've now got a lower high, lower low to that previous bullish candle. So we're currently engulfing that candle. So normally, based off candle probabilities, what that would suggest to me is if we were to begin to break our own low, saying we've pulled back a little bit within the current daily candle, if we were to begin to break our own low, there's a high probability we will make another impulse to the downside. So that's something that we need to consider as well, but also that level that we're approaching, fast approaching, and really not that far off. So we're bullish, but with counter probabilities to the downside. So that could give us potential options against the actual bullish structure on the daily and the weekly time frame. Now the 4 hour is also technically bullish in structure. As we can see, we're currently at a support and we actually wicked below it only to close above it on the previous candle. This candle is just open. So we're not really creating much of an upper wick. So based off that, let's just mark in a high of the current candle, see what we've got above it. And what we can see is that we are technically bullish in structure. Now we're likely going to mark in a level, well, we will be marking a level on the M30. That is the 4 hour support, but there is going to be support a little bit lower down. As far as resistance, we're far off it. We've got resistance at a high. We'll likely be adjusting that and moving that along as well. So that is the actual 4 hour zones. We've got support to the downside as well we can mark in. And that if we begin to break the low of that previous candle, break the current daily candle's low, a potential target at that point could be 27.46, that sort of region. It's a bullish in structure, but again, counter probabilities to the downside. Now onto the 30-minute time frame, and what we can see is that is bearish. That is actually flipped bearish in structure. So there we go, guys. We've got some options in either direction just now on the gold. So at the daily low, we have form support. Let's go down to the 15. We need to cover that wick. There's a support on the 15-minute time frame, so I'm going to change that to lighter color, the blue. And what we have done as well, so we've just broken this support. I'm going to just remove that now. And whoops, what I'm going to do instead, I'm going to mark in, we're about to have 15-minute resistance, guys, at this point here. So I'm just going to mark it in. Now, what we have done on the previous candle is engulfed, and we closed a strong bullish engulfing candle. Not only that, we've closed the 30-minute bullish engulfing. So if this candle was to close a weak bearish candle on the M15, I would potentially be looking for a buy above the high of this previous M30, above the current 15-minute high as well, in anticipation that price could have potentially found its lowest point of the new daily / weekly and bounce off this particular level in line with the actual bias, which is still bullish, even though the 30-minute structure has flipped to the downside. So it all depends where this candle closes in the next 3 and a bit minutes. Now, to determine whether it is a weak enough closure, what I can do is, this is one of the times I will pull up the fib, other way around. I can use the fib, and by pinpointing certain point on the fib here, so preferably above the 50, ideally above the 0.382, is where I'd want this candle to close to consider it a weak closure. Now we are continuing to drop, so we need to adjust that. So from high to low, we want it to close above the 50, and if that is to be the case, that I would consider that to be a weak enough closure to suggest that if we were to break on the following M15, at that point got the high low high high, not only to the M15 candle but also to that bullish engulfing M30, that could be us to hit back up towards 27.58, 27.61 as well potentially. So that is one particular option. I'm just going to remove this zone to the upside, seeing we're absolutely nowhere near it. Now, further options, guys. So it looks like we may not close above that point, but we'll keep it in because never know in the next 2 minutes. Buys above. Now, further options, guys. So obviously be looking for the sells. We've got clean traffic to the left. Not only that, the current daily is forming strong bearish. We do have lower high, lower low, and engulfing that previous candle. Got some nice structure forming within the daily candle. So sells upon continuation below the current daily candle's low, in anticipation that we could make a deeper pullback. The confirmation I need to wait for will all depend on the approach. So at this rate, it looks likely if we were to close like so, I'm probably going to need to wait another candle closure to give me enough confidence to suggest that we could make the move down. If we were to come from above the support, there is still the possibility it could reject. We are at further support here to the left hand side as well. We've bounced off it once, but we potentially start to form some structure to the upside from this point here. So to make sure I'm confident that may not be the case, I'd rather see at this stage, if we are to come from this point, closure below, retest of that zone, and as price begins to pull away, that is where I potentially could look for a sell option. Now, further options, guys, seeing we are bearish in structure, price does pull back further into the range back above, and we've got options. Be marking in 27.58 is also a potential sell zone, and we'll bother putting in a level higher up if we need be, if price eventually gets to that point. So that is the goal, guys. Hopefully that made sense. Guys, smash the like button. TikTok, hit the that screen for us. Don't forget to follow as well. There's 46 of you on the stream right now. TikTok, I'm assuming quite a few of you aren't following me just yet, so make sure to do so. All right, we'll just wait 20 seconds to see where his counter closes before we take a look at GJ. Guys, I will get to your questions on that shortly. Yeah, don't be shy to say g'day. It goes for both streams, TikTok and YouTube. All right, so we're closing without any confirmation for me to take an entry to the downside or upside. So I'm just going to remove that horizontal, and we're going to move on to GJ now. And once again, starting at that weekly time frame, and similar to gold, we've got a very strong bullish candle. Not only that, it's a bullish engulfing candle. So I suggested to the members pullbacks, we could potentially pull back towards the high of that previous bearish candle. Don't necessarily need to do so though. What I can see is current weekly has no upper wick. We know based off probabilities, if you were to look to the left of all these candles to the left, it would have, I'd hazard a guess, 95+% of those candles would have wicks in either directions. So there is a good chance at some point. It doesn't necessarily mean it's going to be today, but there is a high probability at some point price is going to pull back up to create that upper wick. Potentially could be options above that point there. So strong bullish on that weekly candle. Could use the fib as a potential level that price could pull back to the form support at, and anything above the 50. What I'm going to do is just mark in instead that previous candle's high to the left, that bearish candle, and we'll move on to the daily time frame. And we can see that technically does remain bearish as well, but we do have counter probabilities to the upside. Not only that, got a candle closing bullish engulfing well above resistance here. If we begin to break above that previous candle's high, see we've got some clean traffic to the left, and I see potential for price to eventually make its way up towards that 197.50 roughly, moving forward into the week. So structure wise bearish, counter probability wise bullish. Onto the 4 hour, and this is when I'm going to start to mark in some zones. So I'm just going to remove that for the time being. Actually, I'll keep it in, might remove it shortly though. So the 4 hour structure, I'd argue, is definitely bullish. So we've got that on our side to the upside, so we're going to mark in the daily candles high. Also going to mark in the daily candles low just here, and that's the 4 hour range that we're currently playing within. Let's just drag this across and see if we're clearing that level to the left. Yep, we are. We're just clearing it. So if we begin to break above, which is the daily open, and pop above the resistance at that level, got clean traffic to the left to potentially come up to on the 4 hour 195.70 roughly. So good options above that point there, in line with the structure itself. Now onto the 30-minute time frame, and that is, ooh, is that a higher high? Has it closed above this swing point? I'm going to argue it's bearish. It's pretty much at it, but structurally, I mean, we've had a swing there. It looks bearish to me as well. So I'm going to say we're bearish on a 30, so that gives us a neutral bias. With the weekly and the 4 hour being bullish, M30 and daily structure is bearish. Daily counter probabilities, however, to the upside. All right, so we've just broken a support on GJ. Let's just mark it in, and we'll change that to blue. Now let's go down to the 15-minute time frame, see what's going on there. Alrighty guys, so what we could potentially look at on GJ, which will be in line with the 30-minute structure, be in line with the daily candle formation, is, so within the daily, we have pulled back within it and still not created that upper wick. So we've created that lower high just now, broken a support. If now we create a bit of a pause on the next 15-minute candle to close this M30, still a strong bearish candle, similar to what I mentioned on gold, but in the opposite direction. So now we'd be looking for like a weak bullish candle close. Gonna let it develop a little bit more though, so we can focus on the highs and lows closest to the closure. And if this closes a weak candle, and again it's at some data here to the left, I could potentially be looking at some options on the following M15, M30, as price begins to break the low of that previous weak candle. We do have some clean traffic to the left. We will be in line with the 30-minute structure and in line with the current formation of the daily candle and the structure itself on the daily. So that is GJ, guys. So I'm just going to mark in some levels now. So we're looking for really pullback sells as well. If price does retrace to 194.08 roughly, then I could look for a sell from that point there. If we start to pop above it, so if we start to form a little bit of structure like so, start to pop back above that previous support, I'd also consider my options for a potential buy using that previous weekly candle strength to the upside as added confluence that perhaps we're just pulling back to grab a little bit more liquidity before we head back up. Further options, guys, would be for me on a GJ. If we did, I'm just going to remove that level. If we did happen to pop back down to the support here on the 4 hour, and again form a little bit of structure, potentially a bit of consolidation maybe on the 15, correlate it with 30-minute closing, nice and strong bullish, preferably engulfing. then we could obviously be also looking for some options from the lows of the 4-hour support. So that is GJ, guys. Hopefully that does make sense. My focus, I mean, both look alright just now, to be honest. I always prefer to trade gold, but if GJ gives me a better option, I'm going to trade GJ. Now, the same catalyst does not apply in this situation on the M30. I'm not going to be interested looking for that break on the M30 because on the M15, we're just still going to be well below that resistance. I want that to have happened after this bullish candle, basically. So a weak closure on this candle, then the entry. It's a little bit too delayed for that. So at this rate for the buys, I'm probably likely going to be waiting for a candle to close above the 15-minute is likely going to suffice. And for the sells, same thing, so, closure below. So guys, did that all make sense? Yes. Y for yes, N for no. And be honest, if it didn't, it's all good. I know we all don't trade the same way. I know some of it will go in one area and out the other for some of you, because everyone's at different levels. It is about to start raining cats and dogs here. All right, YouTube. Carl, good morning to you, brother. Hope you're feeling better, by the way. Leaving the stream on until I leave, though. Oh, what? Oh, nice one. Oh, we will miss you, my friend. We will, definitely. You're a part of the furniture on YouTube. Franco, as always, brother, morning to you. Tony Gold, back on Grand Rising to you. So it's another one of your profiles. Good day, mate. Hope you're well. Beats, as always, brother. Appreciate you. NQ, yep, we'll do so shortly. Sean, yep, nice one. Phil, all good, mate. Hope you're well. TikTok, Shahid, thank you. Does make sense. Good morning. Possible, can I look at a GU? Shahid, yep, I will take a look at that as well. Sketchmas, morning to you. TikTok, unfortunately, I can't go through all your names, but I appreciate all for joining. Thank you for all the new follows. And GU, so all right, we'll look at NAS first. NAS and NQs is basically the same thing, isn't it? NQ's minis, isn't it? So it's pretty much the same thing, it's just divided by a certain amount or whatever. I'm pretty sure. Look, don't quote me. I don't really trade it anyway, but I'll analyze NASDAQ because that will be basically the same thing, if that's okay. All right, so looking at NAS, and similar to the gold, so previous candle was a strong bullish candle, not quite as bullish as gold's was, didn't close as high up into the all-time high resistance, but it still closed above the body, so it's still a catalyst. And we've done the same thing so far in the current daily candle. We are engulfing that previous bullish candle's low. So based off that, what we could be looking at is potential levels within the current daily / weekly where price could pull back to form a resistance to potentially head back down, or if we break above those levels, provide potential options for some buys above the minor resistance. Onto the daily time frame, and we do remain bullish. Actually, to be honest, if you're really technical about this, it won't flip bullish until the highs. Counter probabilities to the downside as well. Still got a bit of room down to support, so could be looking for some nice buy options potentially moving forward on NASDAQ. The 4-hour structure does appear to be bearish. Yeah, I'd call that bearish. So it's bearish, but we've been just straight bearish all day. Let's just mark in previous support and just see what's gone on that level. Looks like we've closed, well, maybe not closed quite below it. Anyway, let's see. To the downside, let's just mark in these lows. And let's move on to the 30-minute time frame. And that is also bearish. What we can see is we're approaching a support here to the left. All right, so this is very similar analysis to gold by the looks of it, but yeah, very similar. Gold looks cleaner though. So what I'd be looking for in NASDAQ, because to be honest right now, if you're not in a sell, you're kind of chasing the move. So for me, I'd be looking for it to make a pullback and moving closer towards MY. If we have created that pullback and begun to reject, I'd be looking for sell options. If we begin to tap into this support and bounce off it, form a little bit of consolidation, and then start to pop below, perhaps on the next 4-hour candle, that's when I'd also perhaps consider some options to sell it. And as for buys, needs some structure. Definitely need a bit of structure to form, seeing we've been so strong bearish within the current daily candle. So a little bit of series of high highs, high lows. The 15-minute will suffice on NAS. It's a big enough asset class, and that would be my options for the buy. So hopefully it makes sense. Again, it's not something I look into much. I only look at it during NY session. I do analysis because some of the members do trade it. But yeah, that is NASDAQ. So looking at gold and GJ, is gold looking like we could get an option shortly. Sharif, good morning to you, mate. Hope you're well. GU, can I knock off GU? Keep an eye on gold, guys. Gold could potentially provide an entry. What we've got is the 30 also closing back bearish engulfing. Now there could be options. There could be a few options here. The one I'm more likely to take is the continuation sell if we close below. The other option would be based off what I call an interruption candle. So we've had within the daily, an impulse, pullback, impulse. We've had a candle closing back bullish here. That is a bit of a pause within the actual trend itself to the downside within the current daily candle. If this engulfs that candle by about 8+ pips, that would be a strong enough indication to suggest to me that we're ready to continue down. And the option could be that we could place a limit order for a sell in anticipation. New candle is going to likely pull back to create the upper wick. Where does it often pull back to? From what I've seen and past experience, pulls back to around the low of that pause candle in the downtrend, and you could get in options at that point there. What it does is give you a better stop loss. You want a technical stop loss, you're looking at a stop loss above these candles. So you've got probably based off that about a 30 pip stop loss by the looks of it, 31 pip, 32. So that's the other option. But at this rate, I'm likely going to be waiting for a closure below. So we'll wait for gold, and then I will take a look at GU if we don't have the option on gold. Apologies to Shahid. King, when should we buy gold? Right now, I'm not that keen on the buys. Doesn't mean moving forward I won't be, but we're forming a very strong bearish candle within the daily. So golfing that previous daily, we've got clean traffic to the left. So again, if we close, for instance, as is, option 1, upper wick, rejection, sells below this candle's low. Option 2, sell limit at below that bullish candle, or you could potentially layer into the trade and look for both. That is what I'd be looking at. Apologies for not looking at GU just yet. I just want to focus on gold because. And the other option is limit order at the high low of that bullish 15. That is the further option. If we just begin to melt now. So pay attention, guys. I've given you multiple options here. Oof, there it goes. Yeah, I need this thing to pull back just now. I need it to pull back. No interruption on the 5-minute. There it goes. There it goes, guys. All right. What's the GJ up to? Oh, all right. Could be a change of plan. Yeah, so gold, I mean, it's too far gone, to be honest. Let's look at GJ. GJ could provide. It's looking like it's closing weak bullish. So we're back at this rate, pretty much below that support. So what I'll be looking at GJ sells. Got 15-minute and M30 coming to a close. So below M30 slash current M15. Stop loss will be above the current 15. Now, what I suggest is determine what the low is on your broker and look for an entry maybe 2 pips below, pip and a half, 2 pips below. So my broker, the lowest point is 193.864. $845. That's where I'd potentially look for an option. Now, I want a bit of an upper wick. I want the upper wick. I don't enter without the upper wick. Yeah, gold, there's nothing to do, guys. It's just very impulsive and it's just melting. So, all right, if you're not in gold, never mind. It's got it. Has he got an upper week? No, my broker does not. So if GJ pulls back to create the upper week, I'm going to place a sell stop below this bullish candle's low, and that's what I'm currently looking at, guys. Looks like it could create the upper week on my broker. It's very close to flipping. All right, I got it. Got the upper week. All right, we got an order in. $45. All right, members, I have not sent you the link, have I? Apologies. Link's been sent. So we're allowing for the spread, we're counting for spread. That's why I'm looking for an entry just at the, just rounding up to the round number, or the half number, 45. 845. That's 1.9 pips below my broker's low. What is the spread at the moment? Yeah, it's not bad on IC markets. You're looking at 0.6. Ooh, almost reading, not just yet. Close. All right. Looks like I'm in. Let's see. All right, this is nice. Got about 7-8 pips on the table. I'm getting to break even. Oh, got a phone call. I'm at break even, guys. I had about 8 pips on the table. Looks like I could possibly get taken out.
Hey, good morning, Justin.
Morning, Franco.
Did you take some?
Yeah, I'm in some sales. I might start securing something to begin the week. I've got 7. Here we go. I'm about to close half just to get something under the belt for the week. Yeah, so I've closed half at about just over 8. It's a nice start to the week. No drawdown. Following the plan. Ignoring the phone call. And there we go. Smashing it. About to hit the 10, guys. So looking good if you're not secured anything. Yeah, here we go. Beautiful. Dunsky. There should be a small W for you. Alright guys, well done. Again, scalper.
Yeah,
So I only look for small movements. I don't need to hit home runs each time. I get my 9-10 pips, sometimes 15-20, especially on gold. GJ I like to secure. Gold, I'm more open to keeping the trade running because there's more potential for gold to make some nice moves. So nice and easy. Well done, just following the plan. Well done guys, let me know if you did take it. Anna, nice one. Short Ponky. Ponky, I've heard of it. Some meme coin, all good, not for me. What about Ondo? This is not crypto, mate. This is Forex. The only crypto charts I will look at is basically BTC, ETH, and I don't want to look at Sol because it just depresses me. It just depresses me. Franco, well done, brother. You secure something?
yeah, I'm completely out. I make 6.2 pips and I'm out.
Okay, fair enough. You happy with that profit?
Very good call, Justin.
Thank you, mate. Just patiently waiting for the right catalyst.
To be honest, I didn't wait, so I was only 5 minutes at the screen.
Oh, okay. That's all good. I'm sure you've been looking at a similar entry.
No, I really
Here we
didn't
go.
have
Runners
really
out.
the time to look.
Yep. Fair enough. Fair enough. But I'm sure you would have. I'm sure you would have.
Absolutely. So I was looking for that, and the entry was looking pretty good. So I didn't doubt it, and I've taken it.
Nice one, brother. Franco, I've been working with Franco for a long time now, and
Yeah,
I mean it's
more than me.
been unbelievable to see some of the results.
Absolutely, Justin. So everything which I learned from you is very good. So, and the patience you have is absolutely.
Oh, appreciate it, my friend. Why is that not working?
Can learn a lot of you, all the people there.
Yep. Great education here. So, all right, guys. Phil, nice one. Sean, I closed mine by mistake. Went to make half off, but close full. Still a win. So win's a win. Why is it not showing? Anyway. Strange.
Yeah. My entry was a little bit late, so
Okay.
I was getting it in 193, 830.
8:30.
Yeah.
Okay, so yeah, you got in about a pip and a half below.
Yeah.
Still. Alrighty. So, did you buy or sell? Right. No, I took a sell on GJ. Secured small profits, but a win's a win. Good start to the new week. That's been paying me, Anna. Nice one. Good to hear it. Yeah, it's. I mean, I know someone who she trades it pretty much just that in gold during MY session. Has had absolutely phenomenal success. She's a funded trader. King, when should we buy gold? For me, when should we buy gold? Well, need to let it set up a bit. So it's made the impulse down. I would really like it to come back down to this 4-hour support now and see what happens when it taps into it, because we are pulling back to retest this previous level of support that we have broken. Again, if we begin to form a little bit of structure at this point, my concern is though that we've not quite tapped in, so we may still need to pull back down, form that structure a little bit lower down, correlate it with again, maybe a nice strong 30-minute closure. The preference would be that it's going to be a long wait for that, a 4-hour to close bullish at this support. Seeing the daily is in a big strong downtrend. The current, not the structure itself, don't get me wrong, that's very bullish, but this candle in itself, it's a very strong bearish candle. So based off that, it's difficult for me to buy gold based off just a bullish candle closure, because if you were to look at it recently to the left, if you were to just buy it here based off the bullish engulfing, which is pretty much my strongest signal, my strongest catalyst, you would have got absolutely wrecked. Reason being is because within the daily, as I mentioned, we have broken a lot of that previous daily. We are forming a very strong bearish engulfing candle at the moment, so you need a little bit of structure to form before looking for buys to trust it. One candle won't cut it at the moment, so I did mention at the start, if we form that resistance, begin to pop above it, then we could potentially be heading up to the next level. So I need to wait for a little bit of a strong confirmation than just one single candle, and the same thing applies lower down. So a little bit of structure to form, let it create some lower highs, some higher highs, higher lows, and then it could be ready to buy. For the time being, I'm not trusting the buys, to be honest. I just removed that just now. I'm not interested in selling it below it because you don't have the margin to do so. I'll be looking for the sales from higher up now, and the next potential entry point for me to buy is still the same level at this rate. But what might happen shortly is I might pop back down, form some resistance just here, begin to consolidate, create that high low, higher high, and that point there I might have an option to buy it from around this level, if that makes sense. But for the time being, for me on gold, there is no buy option. Paul, you're gonna buy already. Stop loss is in profit. On gold, I'm assuming you're in it from last week. Steve, good win there, guys. Nice and done. Missed it. Sorting children out for school. All good, mate. What made you take this trade? For me on GJ to user, quite simple. I had my price action catalyst down daily, within the daily, similar to gold, but it's not quite, it's not the same. It's not engulfing, but it is still forming a strong bearish candle. Within the daily candle, we have pulled back, form resistance, right, that lower high. So this is the open. We rejected before the open, below the open, sorry. We've come back down to close below support. Below that support, we had a little bit of a pause in a 15-minute time frame. Seeing it close weak bearish, closed actually below this support here to the left. If we were to use a horizontal, had it marked in, then that to me would be a catalyst to suggest if we've begun to break that candle's low, there should be about, well, doesn't mean should, there's no such thing as should, there's probabilities that it'll give you that 8, 10, 15 pip move, which is what I look for, especially on GJ. That's, for me, that's good enough. Again, just using my catalyst, my signals within price action that I've developed over 8 years of trading and reacting to it. So hopefully it did make sense. Oh, what's happening in crypto? Man, I just saw that. I just realized when you said that. Yeah, I've been liquidated. I'm sure I've been liquidated. I'm out. I'd be out of a position I've had sitting for like 3 months. Now I'm 100% sure that'd be gone, but all good. I had it as a set and forget. That was a meme coin on pretty high leverage. It was only a few $100 account, so it was all good. Paul, 2748. Okay, so that was last week. Yeah, okay. Fabiano, GU, yes, sorry, GU, I'll best get to that. A few people have asked about GU, apologies. Alright, GU is looking good for potential sells. I prefer to wait for the 30 closure, personally, because it's a 30-minute support. Don't trust the 15 as much on GU, but let's quickly do the analysis. What we can see is very similar to GJ, very strong bullish engulfing candle on that previous candle. So current candle, same as GJ, no upper wick. Let's just mark in the high, and actually let's mark in the high of that previous weekly candle. It's a strong bullish. The daily structure is bearish, but again, same as GJ, candle probabilities to the upside. Current daily still pulling back though. Let's mark in a 50% of that previous day's candle, and let's see if there is any minor support at that point But what I want to see is, irrespective of whether or not there is, when price approaches that level, I'd want to see the buyer step in and defend it. And that would suggest to me that maybe that could be the lowest point of the new daily and also the weekly potentially. And if the buyers start to step in, we'll begin to form a little bit of support on the minor time frame, that level, then would be upwards and onwards for the rest of the day and potentially the week. So let's go back to the daily. It's bearish in structure, but previous count was strong bullish engulfing. The 4 hour structure wise, I would say that is definitely bullish. Rejecting this resistance here to the left though. So bullish in structure, but we have rejected a 4 hour resistance to the left. Just marking a support. We've retested a previous level we've broken. Just mark that level in for the time being. So we're bullish in a 4 hour, bullish in a weekly, bearish in a daily. M30 is bullish as well. Bullish 4 hour, M30 and weekly. So the bias is actually bullish. Just drag that down. However, I would not be opposed to selling it on the same sort of grounds as GJ. So the current daily is forming quite a strong bearish candle within it. We've created pullbacks. We've created lower low. Equal high now, potentially a lower high to come. So what I've been doing right now is just marking this support just here. And a very, very simple catalyst I'd want to see. 15 rejected, close above it. So right now, you need to wait for a 30-minute closure below, in my opinion. If you get that, you've got again a confirmation of a lower low. So what I want to see is price retest, even if it pops back up into this range, reject, and then look for a potential entry as it begins to break below the catalyst candle's low. So first of all, it needs to close below. Second of all, new candle needs an upper wick. Look, depending on the 5 minute, whether we need to actually pull back to tap into this zone, but we definitely need an upper wick. I'll get into that maybe if need be, closer to closure of this candle. But yeah, that's what I'd be looking at on GU, potential sells below this support. As far as buys, I mean, you just don't have the margin by the looks of it. As soon as you break above this resistance, I mean, that's probably your first potential option at this point. Seeing that's pretty much the most recent level. Price was to pop back above it, bounce and respect this support, then that could be the early option because he's starting to flip some structure on the micro trend back in life, the actual trend itself, if that makes sense. So buys above that point, 1.2464 roughly. And at this rate, I want to see closure below 1.24435 for potential sell options on GU. Anything in between, I'm not so keen on the buys unless we consolidate a bit from the current level, form support. Seeing we've made a clean move down, clean move up prior to it, could potentially look for the buys. Otherwise, if it does pull back to 124.60 and reject, so long as it's a clean move up, yet again, clean rejection, and you've got the margin, take it back down, then I'd potentially consider a sell from higher up. But for the time being, that's what I will be looking at on GU. Sean, not a problem, man. I appreciate you as always for joining and always your support. Happy to have secured some profit on GJ because it's popped back up. So what a comeback it's been since I've had a little bit of history of that, to be honest. Apart from December was just straight wins. 3 months prior to that, I think I started the months very slowly. First week was not great. And then I just smashed it afterwards, completely smashed it. So I think it's about 6th or 7th win in a row. Royal Star, go by Shark Tank. Trust me, when anyone says trust me, run for the mountains, guys. YouTube, I need a few more likes from you guys, if you could. Yeah, so GU looks potentially in the next best option. TikTok, thank you everyone who has just followed. There's too many of you to read out, but I appreciate you all. Once again, I'm streaming live at the moment on both TikTok and YouTube. So if you can't find me on one, you can find me in the other. Exact same name on both. User gold shorts now. Oh, interruption play. So it would have been in a bit of drawdown, but now you safely be in profit. Okay. Interesting. Probably may have been able to secure something by now. I'm not sure how far this candle's popped back. But great to see it play out. Yeah, you definitely be at 10 pips now. So a little bit late for that. Apologies. It's obviously in GJ. But again, guys, free education. Mentioned it before. It's relevant on really every time frame from the 5 up to even the hourly, even a 4 hour, in all honesty. And you see it sometimes on the daily happen. Look to see when price is trending like we have here today. It's got within the current daily on gold, we're creating a series of low, lower high, lower low, lower high, lower low. Within these impulses down, we generally get a bit of a pullback. Sometimes it's multiple candles, and then we potentially look for the limit order zone to zone sell, and then sometimes you get this pause, one candle in between. And as soon as you're engulfed, and it has to be again 8+ pips in my opinion. Shit myself. Then all I do is wait for again, wait for that engulfing candle, and then sell limit the low of that bullish candle. Very simple. So free education, guys, you get that on this stream. Celeste, broker, gotta be really careful what I say. I can't give advice because that's how I get banned. I apologize. I really apologize. Anyone BTC seems like it has been dropping for Fabiano. Yeah. Not sure. Obviously could be a little bit of risk off, but I don't see gold dropping if it was risk off at the moment. Strength in US dollar. Definitely strength in the US dollar. Dixie today, by the looks of it. Let's quickly take a look. Yeah, I mean, it's not pumping by any means, but it is bullish, the daily. Actually, let's take a look at the news. I'm pretty sure, yeah, tariffs in Colombia, maybe that had a slight effect. So to be honest, I'm not entirely sure. More so last week when they slugged tariffs on Canada and Mexico. I'm not entirely sure why gold dropped off the back of that. I would have thought, seeing that US is one of the main import, Mexico and Canada are two of the main miners of gold, and if they're going to slug tariffs on them, it's going to cost obviously more to import it from those two countries. Silver as well, because silver, Mexico I think are the #1 producers, miners of silver. So based off that, they're slugging tariffs on them. I would have thought that would, if anything, increase the value because it's going to cost more to purchase it. But it's done the opposite. So yeah, interesting. So maybe same things happen with Bitcoin. Maybe these tariffs are shaking Bitcoin a little bit. Oh, you're looking at 2790s gold. If it hits stop loss, can't lose. Well, you're in profit, so yeah, that's it, mate. Nicely done. 5 minutes until session open, guys. So I'm not keen on gold buys off the back of one 30-minute candle. GJ just loitering back near the original entry. GU. Alright, so GU starting to move. Could be the option for some potential limit order sells. On GU, you don't need to close 8 pips below. I would say 5 is enough. If that's to be the case, it's made quite a nice move from the upside. Nice strong closure below. It's not come from consolidation. It's come from the top of a range, but it's made a clear move. So this is one of the best times to use a limit order, in my opinion. Bobs, yeah, I checked it before. I can quickly have a look at it yet again and just let you know. So it's, again, it's bullish. The structure, the bias is bullish other than the 30-minute time frame. But off the back of the way the current daily is forming, which is strong bearish, and the fact that we're actually now engulfing that previous weekly candle, within the rest of the daily candle, I'd just be looking for a pullback to sell it. So it may once again pull back to 24.40. It doesn't necessarily need to. I'd be looking for it to pull back to create that lower high and wait a price action catalyst for a potential sell. What I also did mention was if we begin to consolidate, we're at a bit of support here to the left, and then begin to pop below it potentially in the next 4-hour candle, which is still way off, then I would consider sells below the current support 21.175. And for the buys, I need structure. I need a little bit of structure to form because it is too strong of a bearish within the current daily. It's too strong of a bearish trend. Not the structure itself. I did mention daily, you could argue, is technically bearish in structure. But the actual, if you're looking at the weekly and the higher time frame picture, it is definitely bullish. But I can see potential for sells moving forward today. Yeah, GU looks like it could be going as well. And GJ looks like it could also make a little bit of a move. All those other factors could drop back to 27.35. In all honesty, I would love for gold to pull back. And it's not, I couldn't care less when it comes to trading it. As long as I'm on the right side of things, whether it be up or down, I really couldn't care less. But just to purchase some, I prefer it to pull back. Obviously you want to, buy low, sell high when it comes to longer term sort of holds. Fabiano, AU, very similar to the rest of the majors. It's had a nice strong bullish closure in a previous weekly candle, but they are all pulling back at the moment. So once again, strong bullish in a weekly. The daily, structure wise, is also technically bullish. It's closed above this swing point just here. That was the lowest point of the market in the downtrend. We've closed above the swing point, flipped the structure bullish, but similar to gold, GU, NAS, we've got a really strong candle currently forming on the current daily to the downside. We are pretty much engulfing that daily as opposed to the weekly on the others. 4 hours breaking some support as well. Does remain bullish in structure as well though. Let's just mark in the level it's currently at. We'll change it to gray. As far as downside potential targets, 62, 640 roughly. 30-minute structure is bearish. Alright, so AU's interesting. Reason being is because the buys, you don't have to wait all that long for it to flip back bullish. If this is the close, which is about to close in 15 seconds, right that low on a 30, the entry point for the buys comes back above 62.9. So you'd round it up to 63 flat. You're going to flip structure back bullish on a closure above. So closure above, retest, and there's the option to buy it. Otherwise, I'd be waiting for a price to pull back for a rejection to sell it. And currently, right now, I'd want it to consolidate before looking for any further sells, because there isn't a great deal of margin to the downside. You've got some support not even 7 pips away. Yeah, I'm not really liking sells at the current level, to be honest. That's just my personal opinion. I'd rather let it create the clean move, cut through some of that, open this range up a little bit, and maybe form structure at lows based off that previous weekly. Could be a lost point. You can look for the buys. Otherwise, bounce off it, retest this support, reject. There could be options to sell it. That's my personal opinion of AU, guys. Hopefully that does make sense. Thank you once again to everyone on TikTok for following. Do appreciate it. Hit your stop loss, Paul. So yep, but stop loss in profit, so well done either way. All right, so London Open, and if we have the margin, I mean, you kind of do, but I'm concerned by this 4-hour support. Within it, we've got a little bit of margin on the 30, but I'm not gonna take this because of that 4-hour level. But it's kind of similar to GJ, the entry we just took for that little scalp win on GJ sells on the previous, whoops, what did I just do? On that 15-minute break of that pause candle. See what I mean, guys? Doesn't it not look the same? So that's the 15 on GJ. The entry was just there, just below that candle. Gold just now on the 30. Got the same type of thing happening. Just don't have the margin to the downside. 15's a little bit now, a little bit choppy.
Yeah, GU closed without any lower wick on the M30, so also difficult to get in.
Oh, okay, yep. It's popped straight down now, popping up.
And I think
Yeah,
Nick already the move.
yeah, it's made quite a significant move, hasn't it?
Yeah.
Definitely. I mean, limit order is still
maybe
tempting, but we have broken low of that candle, and that usually would invalidate that limit order. But something this year that I've been testing a little bit more is when even if we break in this sort of circumstance, what are the probabilities if we do pull back and would have taken that limit order entry, and they're quite good still. But yeah, I agree, it's not easy to take because you don't have the margin to the downside. There's no lower wick. That could be the lowest point, I mean, of the new candle. We don't know. Yeah, it's for me personally, not for me. I don't trade this pair.
Yeah,
either way.
me too.
Fair enough, my friend.
And also right now, so it's also coming up more than 50% of the previous candle here, which is also a strong
lot of strength
to the upside.
Yeah, a lot of strength in the current candle. Hanun, what pair is this? Well, right now it's GU. My focus is normally gold or GJ. Already had some success on GJ, not a big win, but still a win. And gold is now just consolidating close to 4-hour support. Trading market, EJ. Okay, looking similar to GJ. EJ is actually looking quite good. Wow. So similar to GJ, but on the 30-minute, you've got that little bit of a pause. So you could take an option based off that, a little sell below it. So it's technically still bullish though, depending on what broker you're looking at. We've not filled that gap to the upside, and this particular broker, I wonder, would still potentially do that. But we have pulled back in the current daily candle on form resistance and continued back down. Cheeky little entry might be as it breaks the bullish candles low. The other option right now would be to wait for the 15 minutes to close right near this low, 162.870 for potential continuation sells. As far as an entry point for the buyers now though, could argue we're technically still bullish on the 30. Just recently formed some resistance within the current daily candle at 163.150. So if your bias is bullish at the moment, let's quickly look at the weekly. Was a strong bullish candle, so open with a gap down on this particular broker. I'd almost be happier to wait for the option to buy it if it presents. what you could say is if we were to retest that level at 163, 150, if we were to continue bearish, there is not really a need for us to pop up close above it, retest, and then continue to push away from it, and that would be a catalyst to buy it. But it sells, the safer option right now is probably just wait for a closure below 162.870. But you could pretty much be looking at a small entry, maybe layer in on the break of that 30. Hopefully that makes sense. See Jeezy Extreme. So I go live every day. I try to. Pretty much, yeah. But TikTok is just, yeah, it's a bit. If you can't find me there, just yeah, keep an eye out. I'm streaming live on YouTube as well, so yeah, no, gotta be really careful what I say so I don't get myself banned on. I'm on my last strike TikTok. All good, mate, all good. All right, so there is a bit of strength in the yen at the moment because all the main 2 yen pairs I look at are both dropping. Gold popping up. Big day with the members today, guys. Looking forward to continuing our series of grade the trades, grade the entries from the highest probability to still a high probability but not as solid type of thing. So we basically graded from A+ to around that C sort of entry where it's still valid but not as strong of an entry. Maybe a little bit more risky where you need to drop the entry a little bit, the entry size. Alright, GJ's made the move down, so interesting. If anyone's still holding, well done, nice one. Masib, what's going on? How are you, mate? Not much, just chilling at the time being, taking one small win on GJ, and now it's reassessing the markets, just patiently waiting. Shahid's still holding, nice one. What I would suggest is be very careful because you're tapping into a target just now. You're tapping into support, and it's 4-hour support as well. So it's not just any level. To me, 4-hour levels are more significant. So it could potentially bounce off this level. So I mean, if you still want to hold it, maybe trail your stop loss down a little bit, or at least secure part of the position. It was a nice trade. All right, so yeah, it's definitely yen strength because the pound's actually going up against the US dollar at the moment. See it against the CAD, also against Canadian dollar. Also not looking too bad for buys. GCAD. Let's go to 15 and see what the highest point. Yep, so just use that level there. Yeah, GCAD buys look pretty good above 1.79 to 287 roughly. And as far as the sells, I mean, we're just consolidating, and the issue is a lot of people get caught out in that move just there. I think, right, we're ready to drop. So as soon as this candle closes, they're selling it, or as soon as the next candle breaks the low, they're selling it. Really need to wait for a strong confirmation, especially coming from consolidation. So for instance, my guys know I wouldn't take that. I would not look to sell that because we're coming from pure trash. First of all, this is just consolidation, so there's no direction at all. Also, prior to it, we've had a big move up just here to the left, so we are trending bullish. So what this could potentially do is just grab some liquidity, break the Asian session lows, the daily low, head back up, retest the high, close above, and off we go back up. So when we are forming like so, the only time we'll consider sell is we have a really strong closure below. Then the retest, and then even better yet is if you get a little bit of a pause like we had on GJ, a weak should be bullish, weak bullish candle closure. Below it, retesting it, clean traffic to the left, and the entry could be price begins to break that weak bullish candle low, which has retested that previous support and is beginning to pull away back into the range below. That is the best, better option in this situation. Be patient. Don't try to anticipate the first move out of consolidation because you're likely going to get wrecked, especially if it's counter trend. Ayala scam? Yep. This is why you're here. Scamming people into making profit. That's what I did on that GJ trade before. Shahid stop loss break even, closed half my trade, so I'm good. Nice one. Good work, brother. Good work. I mean, I wish you like, I hope this thing continues to melt. It'd be not a problem at all because what we can see is below this support, we've got some really nice traffic. So my concern is I wouldn't just take it now if we close on the next candle, for instance. Reason being, just use the arrows, it's quicker and easier for me. Reason being is because we've got to consider where we've come from. So let's just mark it in. Let's, from the highest point of this pullback prior to the current move down, we've already pushed 115 pips. So ask yourself, do you really want to get in at that point 115 pips later? Or is it best to wait for it to reset? So what I mean by that is let it pull back to grab a little bit more liquidity. It's at a support, so there's a high probability, or some probability anyway, that it's going to bounce off this level, trigger in some buyers, and then if the sellers are still present in the market, push it back below the support, retest, begin to pull away, and that's when I start to trust the sells below. Let me mark it in 193.470 to be exact, because at that point I'm comfortable considering the fact that we have triggered in some buyers. We may have grabbed a little bit more liquidity. What you could also do is look for it to happen on the new 4 hour. So maybe even if this 4 hour closes below, new candle pulls back up, create the upper wick, creates that lower high, rejects, or the current candle could close, for instance, where it is roughly. New 4 hour pulls back, creates a lower high, could look for sells from higher up, or upon continuation on closure below. Angeliri prediction on Trump coin. I have no idea about Trump coin, to be honest. Apologies. Yeah, no idea. Yeah, no, try to stick to Forex on this stream. Sharif, I had that problem back testing yesterday. Was it, you mean after a big move, looking for the entry, or sorry? Paul, what or who controls the spread? The liquidity providers. So you're looking at the interbanks. they provide liquidity to the broker. So it'd be a mix of both, I would assume. Oh, sure, consolidation breakout. Yep, fair enough. Yeah, so I mean, it just goes to show, but is there scope for a trade in the opposite direction? It was GK, wasn't it? Because look at this now. That's something we need to look into, the group. Because we've seen how often this happens. How can we get involved? That is probably your catalyst. That liquidity count on the 5 minute. So that's something we can test out. Just see how often it works. Because I mentioned it yesterday on the I know, Sharif, we didn't really do much sim, it was more chat between a few on the call. But we did mention, I mentioned it yesterday, how I often see what price will do is obviously HSS will create a high and low. What it will normally do at London, it will pull back to retest one of those levels where it'd be the high or low. And it's either to grab liquidity to head continue up, or to actually close below, retest, and continue down. That's often what you will see. In this case so far it's the opposite. So in this case so far it's broken the Asian session low, and it looks like it could be grabbing liquidity, head back up. Still could reject, you don't know. No way you'll long this bro. You still have daily gap to fill. Not even, I don't know what you're talking about, to be honest, mate. Immortals. Wow, gold pumping at the moment. All right. Like I always mention, guys, there is so many ways to skin a cat. That's a nice strong catalyst, but it's not closed above the resistance. You close below it. Very impulsive against the actual 30-minute structure and the way the current daily is forming. But now it looks like we may be forming a little bit of structure for potential options later. GJ. I'm not looking longer anyway, but again, if I had the right confirmation, I trust my what I know when it comes to price action, because it works 80% of the time. So, but there is now a good chance, and we've broken the support, like I mentioned before, that we could continue down. But I'm not prepared to chase it after already 115, more than that now, about 130 pip move by the looks of it. Got in earlier. Unfortunately, my runner got stopped out. Still managed to secure some profit, and it happens to be melting just now. I need to accept it. I'm not chasing it, and it's all good. I'm in total control of my actions. There's no FOMO. I don't, just jump into a trade because I see something move. I need to wait for my right confirmation. Got that a little bit earlier. I don't have one just yet. Again, gold has bounced. Wow. So the next potential entry point on gold, we need a bit of structure now to form. So you got that potentially. You've still got 10 minutes left, a little bit more than 10 minutes left, but you may have that strong closure above this resistance. So you finally created a higher high. However, daily is still bearish, the actual candle itself, not the structure. The 30-minute structure is still technically bearish, and that won't change until we start to close above this swing point just here. So the cleaner the move now through these levels of resistance here, the better, because then all you're doing is waiting for price to pull back, create that higher low, and look for your signals. My team know what those signals are, and then you can look for your buy upon that confirmation of that higher low, and at least you're trading line with some structure at that point. So I always mention I'm not the first one to the race, because I want the market to show me which direction it wants to move in. Then I set my plan, I create my plan, and pounce when I feel is the correct time. Sui? Yeah, again, my friend, it's not really a crypto stream. If it's crypto, I'm really only Bitcoin and ETH are the main two I'll look at. The market tends to follow them anyway. On $3, then to 7, 8. Yeah, maybe. I have no idea. I don't follow it. I have no idea what that coin does. What are the benefits of holding it? Alright, you guys, YouTube, do hit that like button. Yeah, someone said GJ, it's difficult buying off the back of one candle when you're forming such a strong bearish candle within the current daily. Because what a lot of people will be doing is looking for this candle to close back bullish in 15 and then just buying it. And not saying it's a stupid trade. I'm not saying it's not going to be a profitable trade. I don't know. No one knows until it actually plays out. But for me, when I look at it against the way the current daily is forming, that would not convince me one bit. Need to wait for it to, again, bit of consolidation and then start to pop above that consolidation. That's when I might begin to trust it, because to me at this point it looks like it may want to continue down. Sorry guys, just one moment. All right, hold on. Alrighty, guys. I think I might get moving because I'm not going to get another entry just now. I think I did well to get involved in some quick scalps on GJ cells. So well done to those who did take that. I don't know if you did. Give yourself a pat on the back. YouTube guys, same bunch as always. You guys are legends. We're still working on getting more on the YouTube stream. We're definitely onto it, so we'll hopefully get that, you know, up and pumping shortly. But do appreciate all you guys for joining as well. Yeah, what else? Members will be on probably about another 15 minutes to half an hour. I'll let you guys know. Looking forward to that session. And yeah, I'll see you guys tomorrow. I'll be on tomorrow. Probably I'll try to get on the normal time. I know I was a little bit late today. Keep an eye out. So that's 5:45 Australian daylight saving time, Eastern daylight saving time, and 6:45 a.m. UK time, 7:45 a.m. those in Europe. US, not too sure. Again, it's early morning, 2 a.m., 3 a.m., something like that. But I do appreciate you all for joining. If you've not done so, make sure to hit that like button, guys. YouTube, TikTok, smash that screen. And I'll catch you guys tomorrow. Do trade safe if you are trading into MI. And yeah, I'll see you guys tomorrow. Cheers, guys. All the best. Catch you then. See you guys. Bye.
Nice. See you later.
See you, Franco.
Bye.